Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of the Screen Facts Podcast. I'm Jason Davis, and Screen Facts Podcast is a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. You can find us at jasondavisvoice.com/podcast for more information, and also find out how you can buy Screen Facts merchandise if you want to support the show. You can find us on Instagram, Screen Facts Pod. You can email us, screenfacts@yahoo.com, if you have something you want to say. Joining me for today's episode is a good friend of mine who I am so excited to have on the show. I can't believe this is episode 126 and this is the first time I'm having you on. What the hell's wrong with me? My good friend, let's see, stand-up comic, actor, writer, performer, and now you can add podcaster to the list. Yes. Raushanah Williams, everybody.
Overselling everything.
Well, you know.
Yeah, but it's good to be here, though. I'm glad that we finally did this.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm excited. I've been excited since we talked.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about a great movie today.
Yeah. So it came out in
1983. June 8th, 1983. Now, this is very curious to me.
Okay.
Trading Places. The movie came out June 8th, 1983, and there's a very distinct holiday theme to this.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It takes place around the Christmas holiday in Philadelphia. Me and my mom, we love this movie. Mm-hmm. But we tend to watch it more during Christmas because it happens and it takes place around the Christmas holiday.
Absolutely.
But who knew that June?
There was a documentary on Netflix called Being Eddie.
Being Eddie. I did watch that.
Yes.
It was
awesome.
It was awesome. I was thoroughly inspired by him.
We've both been fans of Eddie for as long as we can remember.
Absolutely.
My first exposure to Eddie Murphy was not SNL, because when he was on SNL, I just wasn't watching it at that time. I later discovered his genius on SNL when they released the best of Eddie Murphy from Saturday Night Live, which is great.
Right.
All of his characters and stuff.
So my uncle, he would have parties on the weekend. With his wife's family and all the cousins, the little cousins would come and we'd all stay in my cousin's room. Mm-hmm. So the kids had to be in the one room while the adults were in the living room and they were drinking and partying and like the regular show. They had a party for everything. We paid the light bill. Let's have a party. We paid the car note. Let's have a party. It was just have a party, right? And so eventually it get late. They're still partying. The kids are asleep. But they would come and wake me up and it would be, Hey, Raushanah, do Eddie Murphy's hot tub. And now they got me out here at 12:30 at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, talking about, get in the hot tub. It's too hot for the hot tub. I jump out, I kiss myself. And I'm 5. I'm 5 or 6
That's
years
amazing.
old. I'm 5 or 6 years old.
Let's in the beginning of Eddie Murphy Raw, when he's telling the joke at the family party, and
Right. And so there was so much about this man that I could relate to. There were so many things. And the fact that his idol was Richard Pryor, my idol was him.
So I discovered his SNL stuff years later, but the first thing I ever saw him in was 48 Hours, which is another movie I think we have to talk about. Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Convict.
Yeah. That's a great movie too, and I think we should definitely do a podcast for that down the road. But
Absolutely.
But this was a year after that, Trading Places. Originally, Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder were going to be the people that starred in this movie.
Yes.
I never knew that until recently.
Yes, but then as John Landis so eloquently put it, Richard Pryor set himself on fire.
That's right.
It's but he did. It was Richard eventually had to make fun of it. It's everybody trying to do bass. I set myself on fire. Why me? And it's oh my God. But it's because of that. It opened up this door for Eddie Murphy to do his first film.
And I in the Being Eddie documentary, they were talking about how Richard Pryor kind of got a little pissed that all of a sudden Eddie Murphy was the guy, And and I like what Arsenio said about why does it only have to be one guy?
That's the thing. And it's still something that happens specifically really in the Black community. Mm-hmm. I find that white comedians and white actors and white actresses, they don't have to deal with that aspect of it. We don't question when we see Brad Pitt and then we see Jason Statham or we see
George
Jason Statham
Clooney
and George Clooney.
whoever.
And it's we've already got a Clooney. We can't have a Brad. Okay, we've got a Clooney, so we got to pick either Brad or Clooney. But with Black actors, Black comedians, Black actresses, it's almost like they could only be one at a time. Okay, we got Kevin Hart. Okay, you got to wait your turn. It's not your turn yet.
I think it's definitely gotten a little bit better.
It's a little better. It's a little bit. So imagine back then.
Yeah, but Eddie Murphy really kicked the doors open.
Yeah, he did.
He really did.
He did things that other comedians just didn't do.
I mean, he was a force of nature.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, watching that documentary gave me a whole new goal in life. Because there's a point in the documentary where he's talking about meeting some of the old Hollywood people.
Right, like Don Amici and Ralph Bellamy in this.
Right, in this film, even some of the greats like The Godfather.
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Like, he's meeting old Hollywood.
Right.
And they're calling his people. They're calling his agents. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? One day I'm going to be so good at what I do, he's going to have his people call my people. He's going to say, you know what? I need to meet her. Who is she?
That would be cool.
I need to meet Raushanah.
Yes. So Trading Places, June 8th, 1983, directed by John Landis, written by Timothy Harris and Herschel Weingrod. Eddie Murphy as Billy Ray Valentine, Dan Aykroyd, Louis Winthorpe III, not to be confused with the other two Louis Winthorpes. Jamie Lee Curtis as Ophelia. A lot of people have died since this movie came out. Denholm Elliott as Coleman. He died in 1992 at the age of 70. Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici were pretty old in this movie.
They were already old.
Bellamy died in 1991 at 87, and Don Amici died in 1993 at 85.
And Don Amici, I don't think he was going to do the movie.
He had actually been semi-retired for like a decade.
Right. He wasn't going to do the movie. He did this movie. Not too many years later, he did Cocoon.
Yeah.
And didn't he win an award for that?
He won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar.
Yeah. Oscar for that after coming out of retirement.
Yeah, so Eddie Murphy jump-started his career again. Let's talk about those two guys for a minute.
Mortimer.
Yeah. I mean...
Randolph.
It's despicable characters. I mean, just nothing redeeming about them.
Nothing.
I was making notes when I was watching the movie. So I love to watch the movie. I've seen Trading Places dozens of times, probably. But whenever I'm going to do a podcast, I always want to watch the movie again so it's fresh in my head. When Winthorpe gets to the office, Duke and Duke office, he's walking through the lobby and everybody's like, good morning, Mr. Winthorpe. Good morning. Good morning. Every third person he barely acknowledges.
Yes.
He kind of mumbles or whatever. And then he gets into his office.
Morning.
Then they cut to Randolph and Mortimer getting ready to be driven to the Duke and Duke office at their mansion. And all of the staff are lined up. Good morning, Mr. Duke. Good morning, Mr. Duke. Good morning, Mr. Duke.
Good morning, Mr. Duke.
They acknowledge none of them. So I thought to myself, so I guess Winthorpe is at the early stages of that. He hasn't totally, become a douchebag.
On his way. He can go either way at this point.
Right.
He can become Duke and Duke, not acknowledging anything, and becoming that total...
Just everybody's beneath them.
Right, everybody's beneath him. Or he can make a change. But how about this? On the outside of their club...
The Heritage Club?
The Heritage Club. Yeah. There's a sign, and you can look it up. I think it says...
Liberty and Justice
for all. But then it says members only.
Right.
Liberty and justice for all, members only.
Right.
I thought that was ironic. I'm like...
In other words...
Liberty and justice for all, members
white people only.
Well,
Let's call it.
You said it, I did. No.
Yeah, I know, totally. Listen. Yeah. White privilege, sadly, is a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. But I thought that was funny.
Yeah, totally. Paul Gleason as Clarence Beeks.
Yes. Who was supposed to play Clarence Beeks? Somebody else?
Was there somebody else?
G. Gordon Liddy.
Oh, that's right. And then they have him reading a G. Gordon Liddy book on the train.
Right. And the reason G. Gordon Liddy decided not to do the role was because he got to the last part where he sees that his character is sexually assaulted by a gorilla.
That is great. So $15 million budget. Domestically, it made $90.4 million. Worldwide, $120.6 million. Eddie Murphy, I think he could have been in anything in the 1980s and made it a success.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, that's what he was proving. Before your Samuel L. Jacksons, your Denzel Washingtons, your Forrest Whitakers or Morgan Freemans, he was the first who was proving not only can a black person or a black actor sustain a comedy being by himself and hold the comedy and hold a movie by himself, or be not just a bland supporting role, and not do it just domestically. I'm doing this worldwide. So he became a worldwide name. He didn't just transcend color lines and all that. He went
world lines. Yeah.
Universal lines. He transcended. So it's like he opened up the doors. He kicked those doors wide open.
When watching this movie, I was expecting to be like, ooh, that's a little cringy now. The only thing in this movie that I think probably would be offensive to, you could tell me, blackface. When Dan Aykroyd is wearing blackface.
I was totally still not offended. And I listen.
I'm just saying, as a society, blackface is considered to be
it is a no-go.
Right.
You don't do it. But as a comedian, I tend to look at things, if it's still funny, it's still funny. And him and Eddie Murphy doing this banter back and forth in the train. And, oh, hey, man. Like, it's this whole
It's
thing.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It was done in such a way where I can literally envision another scene in the movie where you're actually watching Billy Ray and Lewis plan this thing. Where they're like, no, man. And Billy Ray says to Lewis, no, man. This is what you're going to do.
Right.
I can't do that. That's offensive. Don't worry about it, man. Listen, do this. And like, I can see them planning this and it just being what the plan was.
The context.
Right. The context of it. I think people, we get butthurt about a lot of things, you know? And it's not that racism is not something we need to constantly be
Of course.
paying attention to. And because it does exist, it's prevalent, it's there. But at some point, I'm just like...
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Just in conversations. When a white person says, I don't see color.
You're lying.
You said something to the effect of, it's not like black people don't want white people to not see color. You want white people to see color and acknowledge color as being equal.
First of all, I don't see color as a lie. You do see color.
Of course.
You see color, you acknowledge color. It's about acknowledging color, acknowledging that we are all different. We all come with our own differences, cultural backgrounds. It's about acknowledging it and not making it a problem.
Right.
Or separating it or making one superior over the other.
Right.
I need you to see color because I need you to understand if you put raisins in my potato salad, we're going to have a problem. And that is not something that we do. Black people do not put raisins.
I've never put raisins in. I've never heard of that.
And I respect you. And this is why when I say you don't see color, I see color because I have two really good white friends. And I only have two of them. And it's Jason and his wife. Those are my two really good white friends. And it's not because I don't want more white friends. It just happens to be that these are the only two that I have. And I respect them because they don't put raisins in potato salad. And
I've never heard of that in my life. That's disgusting.
Are you kidding me?
I swear, I have never had raisins. I have never had raisins in potato salad.
They put all kinds of things. There's a big thing with black people. It's not that we don't want to invite you to the barbecue or to the cookout. It's that we don't want to invite white people because we're scared they're going to do things to the food that should be done.
They're going to bring janky-ass food.
They're going to bring janky-ass potato salad. Or they're going to say, I'll make the mac and cheese, and it's like Kraft. No, we're not. That's not mac and cheese. That's not what we do, you know? So we don't... Yeah, that's what it is. It has nothing to do
See, this is all we get. These are the conversations we need to have to break down the racial barriers in our society.
These are the conversations that need to go on.
Listen, I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, whatever. Raisins do not belong in potato salad. They do not.
See, there you go. And that's it. And once we can come to that agreement, I think the world would be a better place.
I think so too.
That's what
we'll all join hands across America.
All across America.
So Trading Place is nominated for some awards and actually won some awards too. This movie was nominated for Best Original Score. Elmer Bernstein, who did Animal House, he did Stripes. Denholm Elliott Coleman won Best Supporting Actor at the BAFTA Awards, which is the British Oscars.
Okay.
And this film was nominated for Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor for Dan Aykroyd, Best Supporting Actor for Ralph Bellamy, and Best Original Screenplay at the BAFTAs as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And Eddie Murphy was not nominated for a Golden Globe for this. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy, by the way, should have won an Oscar for Dreamgirls. In the documentary, they talk about how it was probably politics because he criticized the Oscars.
He said, I'm just saying. I haven't won anything. I haven't been back.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy is fucking genius. I'm just going to say it.
He really is.
21 years old when he made this movie.
21.
Think about that.
Like what he 18 when he started SNL?
Yeah. And just running circles around everybody at that age.
So the thing is, at 18, me and my mother had this discussion. She says, I really would have liked to have seen him with the cast that was there before him, right before him. There was too much politics. Two
words for you.
Yeah.
Garrett Morris.
Garrett Morris.
The original black cast member of SNL in the first cast.
Right. We already had one black guy.
That's right. Can't have two.
You can only have one. Remember the rule, people. You can only have one. There's only room for one. One at a time. Okay?
I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny.
It's hilarious. Are you fucking kidding? Because it's the ridiculousness.
It's preposterous.
It's the ridiculousness of it. The other thing is, you had all of these really top-notch comedians who were doing great things and the play that he wouldn't have gotten versus him being a part of a brand new cast who everybody hated because everybody's like, what is this? Who are these people? And I think it was his time to shine. And so when he became a part of that new cast, that was it. His light was shining bright. He's probably one of the first imitated a character in a funny way or a person in a funny way and had that person come on. Stevie Wonder.
Yep.
So he imitated Stevie Wonder, and then Stevie Wonder actually comes on the show.
Yep.
Right? I mean, he's the first to do that. Like, come on.
For all of the comedy and the brilliance of Eddie Murphy and everything else, this movie does address a very specific thing.
It's The Prince and the Pauper is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody had the same opportunities, what would they do with them?
That's the big premise. Because we argue about that all the time. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So what, you're not given, but you gotta, but do you understand the difference? And when we talk, and you mentioned, and you said white privilege exists. Mm-hmm. When we talk about that as black people, and I don't want to get too political, but it's kind of hard, like, when you're talking about
it's okay.
like this, it's like, but when as black people, when we talk about privilege, do you understand what it is to be given certain opportunities and not have to struggle to get those same opportunities that somebody else didn't have to struggle to get because it was just handed to them? I'll give you an example in my own life. Even me going to a Catholic school and having parents who were educated and believed in education and understood the value of it and had the opportunity to send me to private school and Catholic school, I understood that's a privilege that was given to me because there were counterparts who went to public schools, whose parents, who they were latchkey kids, or parents who didn't place emphasis on education, didn't have the opportunity to send their kids to school.
Maybe their parents were working a bunch of jobs.
You had two parents and they were both working all the time, or one parent had to work two jobs, whatever the case may be.
Gratefully, you had people in your corner that were lifting you up.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, that's not always the case.
So even that...
And unfortunately, that's not just a black thing.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So if you think about that, that in and of itself, that's why I'm using myself, because people like to say, oh, black people. No, as a black person, I recognize that I had more privileges than some of my black counterparts because I was in a different position.
I love how in the movie they address that, though.
Right.
Lewis, it doesn't take very much for him to fall apart.
Exactly. And that was the argument. Is it nature or is it nurture? I've always said it's a combination of both.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're born into poverty or if you're born into
some people still succeed. And how do they do that, given the same circumstances?
Because they don't want that to be their story.
Because they have a nature about them. There are some people who are born and are built differently to handle different things. So you can have groups of people born into the same situation, but one person having more fortitude than the other is the key that keeps them from drowning the way somebody else does. It's a healthy balance of both. So what happens when you take a smart individual like Billy Ray, who has a street smart, a different type of intellectual fortitude, right?
Right.
And you put him in a situation where you're giving him the privilege of Lewis.
Right.
Right? Who has no emotional fortitude whatsoever.
Right.
He's never had to go through anything.
Right.
But he's been given so much that it just made it easy for him. So what do we do when we switch them?
Right.
Oh, boy, do we get a story.
The thing I love is that Billy Ray Valentine in this movie doesn't lose his essence ever. Even though he has the privilege and he has the opportunities, the money, he has the house, he's got all this stuff, right? He's still at the core Billy Ray that we see on the cart in the beginning, just trying to survive.
I think there are several times where when he first gets the windfall, he's got the party going, get out of my house. This is my house. You tearing up my stuff and you putting cigarettes out on my... Man, this stuff ain't yours. And he buys it a little bit. And the key is that he never loses it completely, though.
There's a great thing that happens at the end of that scene. The scene, so he has this big party and people are disrespecting his house. He kicks everybody out. And Coleman's like, sir, why don't you retire for the evening? I'll straighten up. You got a big day tomorrow. And he goes, yeah, I think I will retire. And he goes, thanks, Coleman. The look on Coleman's face, he's probably never been thanked in his life for anything.
Ever.
I've noticed that scene before probably, but it really hit me this time. I think because in recent years, I've become more and more grateful for everything that I'm blessed to have in my life. My amazing wife, my friends, my family, everything. My home, all that. Stuff that like a lot of people probably take for granted.
I just was on a panel. I was talking to a group of people. We were talking about leadership and things like that. And I said, when you become a leader, you get into these positions, you forget what it is to not be a leader. One of the things I tell people all the time is when you travel, there's certain people you need to make friends with. That is the wait staff or the kitchen, the people who clean the rooms, your maids, and your security. be the nicest to those people. You know why? Because they have the keys to the kingdom. And a little respect goes a long way.
People who are rude to wait staff, people who are rude.
In general.
Yeah.
In general.
That's a real problem for me.
Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated and you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. That is a principle that people often get wrong. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And the problem is...
You don't love yourself.
Right. And people can only treat people with the same respect and love that they have for themselves. People should not have to deal with that, but that is the reason. I'm not saying that it's right or that it should be tolerated.
There's something that can help you with that. It's called therapy, folks.
There you go. It's called therapy. Good therapy.
Therapy is a beautiful thing.
It works wonders.
Yeah. So there's another thing that Coleman says to Billy Ray in this movie that I love. He drives him to the firm for his first day.
Yes.
And he gets out of the car. He's like, what do they want me to do? He's like, I'm sure they'll let you know, sir. And they go back and forth a little bit. And he says, just be yourself. Whatever happens, they can't take that away from you, which I think is awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the key to life.
Yeah. Don't let anybody...
Coleman was spitting wisdom.
Yeah. Don't let anybody dull your light.
Yeah. And this is what I tell people all the time. I'm like, listen, no one can beat you at being you. No one can beat me at being me. I'm the only Raushanah. That's
right.
Somebody can have my name. They can spell it exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
They can say it the exact same way. Mm-hmm. But they'll never be me.
Let's get back to the movie.
This is going to be an 8-hour podcast.
So, Jamie Lee Curtis. Let's talk about Jamie Lee Curtis.
Love Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
Love Jamie Lee. She was the Scream Queen before she did this movie.
Yeah, she was basically known for Halloween.
And Landis said that he was running into a problem with them accepting, because she didn't have anything else other than horror movies
yeah,
in her repertoire. And they're like, what are you doing? How are you casting this person for this character? And
then they met. And she was funny.
And she was funny. I personally think that was when I actually fell in love. And by the way, I'm still in love with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like the record.
She's awesome.
If she hears this, Jamie Lee, how are you? How are you, darling? But that was when I fell in love with Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. I was like, she takes this prostitute character, but makes her this
the smartest character in the movie.
The smartest character, one of the most realistic characters in the movie. This story becomes plausible with Jamie Lee Curtis in this role.
Now, it could be argued that the topless scene in the movie, 2 topless scenes actually, are gratuitous and unnecessary. And that's probably partially true. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The context of how they show her breasts in this movie, specifically the first time when she's getting changed and she says, rent is not the only thing that costs money around here or whatever. And then she covers herself up.
Yes.
She's acknowledging that's part of my power.
Right.
So I think that's actually a powerful thing.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing.
I think what happens is, again, people get butthurt about a lot of things. And I think when it comes to women and how we're treated in society, again, this is very much a patriarchal society. Women are not... We still struggle in a lot of areas that we shouldn't.
Women should be treated equally. They should be paid the same.
Yes, they should.
I think that women should have way more power in this country.
I think that's a problem because we don't take our own power. So we've given up our power. You take a role like Jamie Lee Curtis, that a woman being a prostitute, not someone being trafficked, not someone being forced. She was in charge of her own thing. Like, this was not, she didn't have a pimp.
Right.
She wasn't being forced into this.
Right.
No one manipulated her into this.
Right.
This was something she said, look, this is my profession.
I got this body. I got this face.
Body. I got this face. I got this profession. She went and got a dozen roses at the door and pushed the man out. Nothing else. That was it. She said, oh, I have family visiting.
Yeah, my mom's
I can't. I love you. Thank you.
But I love how she's very matter of fact. How she breaks down, like, I figure I got 3 or 4 more years on my back and then I can retire. Like, she's got a plan.
She had a plan.
Yep.
She is, and
she gambles on Lewis because, you look like, your hands are soft. You've never worked an honest day. I have a feeling about you. And that's the other time that she shows her breasts, when she takes off her dress and gets into bed with him when he has the fever to help warm him up. Like, because she's protecting her investment.
Right.
That's all her using her power.
And she owned it.
This role led her to being cast in A Fish Called Wanda.
Yes.
Which is a huge movie for her.
Kicked up her career.
Yeah, John Cleese saw her in this and wanted her for A Fish Called Wanda.
Yes,
and then James Cameron cast her in True Lies opposite Schwarzenegger.
Which I absolutely love.
Great. Great movie.
Great movie.
This movie really launched Jamie Lee Curtis beyond horror movies.
Yes, absolutely.
So, let's talk about some of our favorite scenes in the movie.
Okay.
Since we're talking about trading places, I've already done Coming to America on the podcast. But you got to talk about that brilliant callback in Coming to America.
So you can't talk about Trading Places without talking about the brilliant callback, which is one of my favorite scenes in Coming to America.
Yes.
And for those who are not familiar, we're talking about the scene where
Akeem is walking
to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. But he stops and he says, just give me a second. And he pulls a bag of money out of his pocket that he has taken from Simi.
Right.
Simi is wilding out, spending all that money doing crazy stuff. So he takes his pocket money. Yes. He says, I'm going to take your pocket money. And he takes his pocket money and he gives it to two homeless guys who are sleeping by the pier. And they say, thank you. And you realize that it's none
the Duke
other
brothers.
than the Duke brothers. It's Duke and Duke who are now homeless, who were made homeless because of the Trading Places. Yeah. And he looks in the bag and goes, Randolph, I'm still not talking to you, Mortimer. Randolph, look, we're back. And it was just like...
Genius. Eddie Murphy in that scene in the jail when he's talking about a karate man bruise on the inside. But and the two other guys, you Barry White looking motherfucker, whatever he said. And the other guy, all he says is, yeah.
That's all he said. Yeah.
And when he goes into the bar and he's throwing money around, his superpower is like the street smart swagger kind of character. I mean, Axel Foley is very similar too.
Exactly. There's always just that Eddie factor.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes. It is actually a scene with Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
And this is when Lewis has completely lost his shit. Okay? Lewis is done.
Right.
Lewis is done for. He's decided.
When he's dressed as
Santa?
Santa?
A gun? Yes. I'm going to get a gun, get myself wasted. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to shoot up the place. Yep. Right? He gets in there and he's haggard. This is crackhead Santa. This is Santa. this is Santa after an acid trip. And he's growling. He's like, and he sticks this fish inside his suit pocket. Yeah. Like he just opens the suit, just kind of, it's not a pocket. He just sticks it in his suit. Yeah. Right? He gets on the bus and he decides he's going to eat some of this fish that he saved for later. And it's stuck to the beard, and he's pulling on it, and he looks like some kind of rabid animal on this bus eating this fish. Mm-hmm. As he eating the fish, and the hair from the beard is stretching with, and I'm like, Jesus.
I love how like that obviously is hard to watch. But, like, I love when he sits down next to the woman on the bus in that condition. She gets up and moves.
She gets up and moves.
Yeah, as you would.
As you would. This is still not my favorite part. My favorite part, he gets off the bus. He's standing there. It starts raining. As if it hasn't hit rock bottom yet. Right? And so he takes the gun, and he puts it to his head. Uh-huh. And he pulls the trigger, and nothing happens.
You're forgetting one important part.
What's the important part?
The dog pees on his leg.
The dog pees on... I knew there was something else that happened.
The dog pees on his leg, and then he goes... as he walks away.
Yeah, as he walks away. As simple as that is, when I tell you I laugh every time, I'm like, you couldn't even kill yourself.
And then he tries to kill himself with pills.
Yes.
They help him.
Right, they help him.
And then he wakes up, oh, it's just a terrible dream.
Terrible dream.
And then
it was not
and then Billy Ray is the voice of reason. You can't just shoot people in the kneecaps.
Listen, this is such a great movie.
It is.
Front to back.
Yeah, it really, and honestly, it has aged very well. A lot of movies from the 80s, especially the early 80s, have not aged well.
Yeah.
And we've talked about them a lot on this podcast.
This movie has aged very well.
And it's because it's well written. And because of what they're satirizing, societal differences and all that.
The crazy thing is, it's still relevant. Which is crazy to me.
Yes, I know.
The insanity of this is that this movie is still, you can watch this movie and it still remain relevant today because we're still going through the same bullshit and nonsense.
It's crazy.
We're talking 42 years and it's still relevant because we just don't learn. We don't learn. But hey, I'll keep watching it. I'll keep watching it. It's a great movie.
Even though it's certainly addressing a very serious problem in our society, at least it makes us laugh.
This is what I'm saying. You gotta find the humor in everything. Yeah. Find some humor.
We were talking about that before we started recording. Yeah. what I think helps us survive this world that we're living in, because it's a fucked up world.
It feels like it gets more messed up by the day.
It does. The only thing that is going to get you through is being able to laugh.
You gotta be able to laugh. If you don't find the humor in things, you're gonna be dealing with some serious mental health stuff. You're gonna be a mess.
Well, Raushanah, I got to tell you, this has been amazing talking about this movie. And yeah, the conversation kind of shifted away from the movie a little bit, but that's happened before on the podcast. It's going to happen again. And I think that's what makes art great. Art is supposed to make you see the world differently and think things. And
absolutely.
And I think that this movie is definitely designed to get conversation started.
Yeah. It was designed to make people look at society from a different lens. And I think it did it in such an entertaining and fun way.
Oh, yeah. And obviously, when you have somebody like Eddie Murphy.
When you have the cast.
Everybody's great in this movie.
Everybody was great in this movie. So you had Eddie Murphy. You had Dan Aykroyd. Mm-hmm. You've got Jamie Lee Curtis. You've got all these great people in this movie. Mm-hmm. It was well written.
It's a great movie.
It's just a great movie.
That's all there is to it.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to the next one. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do next. Can't wait.
I can't wait.
The Screen Facts Podcast is a production of Jason Davis Voiceover. JasonDavisVoice.com/podcast. Go there, check it out, and find out how you can support the show by buying merchandise, not just shirts, all kinds of stuff. Check us out on Instagram. Follow us, Screen Facts Pod. And if you have any questions, comments, movies you want us to talk about, you can email us, screenfacts@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Looking good, Billy Ray.
Feeling good, Louis.
Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of the Screen Facts Podcast. I'm Jason Davis, and Screen Facts Podcast is a production of Jason Davis Voiceover. I should know this by heart, right?
You should know it by heart.
I know.
It's your show. Take two.
Can't look at you. You're making me laugh.
Sorry.
All right.
I totally think this should be the introduction. I think that this should just be the intro.